Better late than never, but the Chicago Sky have re-signed Michaela Onyenwere to a one-year deal. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to Chicago Sky Central, and here's your host.
What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bulls Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and get into this content for today. I just want a real quick update that's late now because right before I was about to go live, the Chicago Bulls traded Zach LaVine, which really kind of threw some things off when it came down to me getting this episode out. But yeah, the Bulls really threw me off there. But the Chicago Sky have re-signed Michaela Onyenwere to a one-year deal. This was announced by Jeff Pagliosha himself. We don't know the details as far as the number on the contract. They haven't released that part of it, but we do know that Michaela Onyenwere is now officially back on a one-year deal. This should be no surprise, right? I've talked to you guys a lot about the fact that this was a chance for a lot of people, a lot of ladies in the NBA, considering the change to the CBA next year, that there are going to be a lot of teams that sign one-year deals, right? And so because of that, I think that you see that when it comes, did I say Bulls? Sorry. The Sky. I'm sorry. I'm still on the mind of the Bulls. But the Sky, Michaela Onyenwere can help the Bulls. They've re-signed her. And there's going to be a lot of players that sign one-year deals because the new CBA and how that's rising. So this is just a way to keep her in-house, right? There's no point in making any changes. She probably also didn't want to risk going anywhere else. But you look at how she finished the season strongly, right? Averaging double-digit points towards the end of that season. So that's something that the Sky are maybe hoping, especially with Tyler Marsh, that he's going to be able to develop her a little bit more. Keep in mind, people forget, Michaela Onyenwere was a rookie of the year, right? And she still has potential. Now, I'm not saying that she's going to turn into some amazing player in the WNBA, but she can be a very productive player in the WNBA. And I think that's what the Sky are looking for at this point. Like, if she develops a little bit more under Tyler Marsh, looks even better, great, right? No harm, no foul. You get to keep somebody that's already been in your building, that you've worked with, things like that already has some chemistry with the team. And if it doesn't, cool, you move on, right? That's all it really comes down to when is that the Sky are taking a calculated risk here with Michaela, and it is what it is, right? We still don't exactly know what this team is going to look like next year. We don't know what this team is really going to look like. We have some ideas, right? But because so much of the team's major acquisitions aren't going to come until the draft, right? We've already seen that they've basically done the work they're going to do in free agency. Of course, they have a little bit more flexibility to do some other things if they choose to. But because we kind of already seen, they've signed two veterans that can stretch the floor, that have some size. We brought Michaela Onyenwere back. We still got decisions to make on Dana Evans and players like that. Don't know what happened there, but overall, I mean, this Sky team is really banking on them having a hit in the draft that's really going to help take this team to the next level. And that's what they're really looking at. Let me know what you guys think as well as the mic down here. I'm still adjusting to it, rather than it being right here, but people have said they want to see more of the background. So I'm trying to give the people what they want. They said that they want to see more background. Now my lightsaber is blocked here though, but it is what it is there. We'll deal with it. But overall, we'll see what happens there, man. Phoenix is loaded. Phoenix is going to be dangerous. The Indiana Fever absolutely loaded now as well. Like, it's crazy how they've restacked that team up. It's a lot of craziness going on. Man. But a lot of activity in both the WNBA and the NBA over the last few days, right? So this is the next season in the WNBA is going to be really fun to watch because there are going to be a lot of deep teams. And I think whereas the last couple of years it was like top heavy with 4 teams, there's going to be like 6-7 teams that are really, really, really have a chance at winning a title next year. And we're going to see, like, I'm not saying the Sky are going to be in that, but there's going to be the league's going to be really deep next year. On top of an expansion team coming in. So we're in store for a really fun season next year. And we'll see how it's going to go. Jeff has been making some good moves all off. See, solid. It's solid moves, right? Still some questionable ones, but there's, like I said, I don't think we'll see the full picture until the draft. After whatever happens in the draft, that's really when we have a better idea of the full picture and what this is going to look like for the Chicago Sky. And I'm for one, I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it at all. I think it's the right decision, and we'll see who comes where the Sky shake out on that. I think if the Sky can get an Olivia Miles, I even think the fact of the matter is that the Skies, one of their worst case scenarios is that they end up with Sonia Citron and Cheyenne Sellers. And in most years, you're looking at that as an amazing draft. Like, of course, I would love to have Olivia Miles first, right? That's number one on my board. But if you can walk out this draft with Citron and Cheyenne Sellers, in 90% of the years, you're probably winning that draft. So I'm not mad at all at where the Sky are, right? We have a lot of opportunity. Charity has a similar build. They are wasting Angel rookie. First of all, she only has a rookie year, and they didn't waste it. The Sky were competing in the rookie year. Like, had it not been for injuries, the Chicago Sky would have probably snuck in the playoffs as a bottom seed. So I personally don't look. I can't tell you how to feel. Like, if you feel it was a waste, it was a waste. But I personally don't look at it as a waste. It's a rookie year on a rebuilding team. Most rebuilding teams, no matter how high they draft, they suck for a year or two, right? What if Quickly want to come back to play with the Sky? You bring her back. So we'll see. Olivia's not falling to us. It's basically written in stone that we are getting Sonia Citron. Not necessarily, because there's been some talk about Flage potentially entering this draft. And if that happens, things change. That's all I'm going to say. Things change if that happens. Now, that's a big if, but things can definitely change if that happens. So you got to look out for that as well. Major draft, we can get them or Tahina. That's another one, right? If you can walk away with Tahina in this draft and Sonia Citron, that's still a really good draft in most years. So I think the Sky are in a position. I'm not going to say that they can't lose, because just because you draft a player with potential doesn't mean it ends up working out for you. But I will say this: they're in a really good position to be a much better team than what they were last year, in my personal opinion. And you have young pieces then that are all on kind of the same wavelength and path to get you to where you want to go. So, has Kennedy been signed yet? No, Kennedy Carter has not been signed by a team yet, which is actually pretty surprising. I think most of the top, and she's probably going to be a second wave free agent, even though she deserves to be higher than that. But I wouldn't be surprised if teams that strike out on their number one option then pivot to Kennedy. That's probably what's going to happen here. So we'll see what that holds out for. So, but overall, hey, it is what it is. The Sky get their girl back for one more year, and we'll see what the future holds. You guys can let me know what you guys think on all that down below. As always, make sure you're following us at Chicago Sky Pod. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, ChicagoSkyCentral@gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, 773-270-2799, the number one spot for everything